Marc Freedman has a purpose. As managing partner and co-founder of Evolved Profits, he and his team have over 40 years of experience in helping businesses free up cash so that it can be reinvested into helping employees, growing the business, and creating positive social impact. He is a serial entrepreneur, CEO, and the best-selling author of Expense to Profit: Eliminate the Costs That Sabotage Your Growth. Marc loves helping companies create more profits while being an agent for change. This is his purpose, and in an effort to help more companies and more people, Marc, along with co-host Yanik Silver, author of Evolved Enterprise, bring you Profits with Purpose, a podcast that aims to do just that. On the show, Marc and Yanik talk to successful corporate decision makers, exploring valuable lessons learned, experiences in growing a company, ways to reduce expenses, and all the ways a company can have a positive social impact. Join us each week and get in on the discussion so we can all have more profits with purpose. And now, here's your host, Marc Freedman.
Welcome to Profits with Purpose podcast. Today's guest is Beth Smith, the CEO of StickerGiant. Since joining StickerGiant as COO in 2017, Beth has helped guide the company's fast growth and has more than doubled their annual sales. Beth also successfully ushered StickerGiant through the challenges of the pandemic, managing a hybrid workforce, like a lot of us, and implementing new safety protocols. Beth identifies as gender non-binary, and their passion for social justice and diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging fits with the forward-thinking, human-centric business culture of StickerGiant. Beth has broad experience in a variety of industries, formerly serving as a director of operations at Intrado, and in several sales and customer service leadership positions for UPS. Beth's exceptional relationship skills and talent for connecting the links between people, processes, and technology have earned them a proven expertise in building employee, customer-focused cultures. Beth is also the founder of Boulder Mindful Living and has served on the board of Out Boulder County. Beth holds master's degrees from George Washington University, my alma mater, and Naropa University. Beth, welcome to Profits with Purpose.
Thanks for having me, Marc.
Oh, this is great. No, I mean, a lot of heckulations there. Why don't we start out and talk about your background and how you ended up at StickerGiant, because it's pretty diverse.
Well said. I'd say that. Yeah. I think gone are the days when careers were sort of, one company or a couple of companies. And I think so, my experience in my career has been one of lots of different experiences. So got started really early in my career. The summer of my junior year in college, I got a job with UPS loading tractor trailers. And who knew, I would end up staying at UPS for 13 years and learned an awful lot. That's where I fell in love with business. Worked my way into management, did sales for a while, and then landed in call center management, contact center management with UPS. Made a big decision in the early 90s when UPS offered their first management buyout. And I actually took that buyout because they had started outsourcing all the contact center operations. And my trajectory with the company became uncertain. So I took the buyout, surprised a lot of people, and did everything I could do to not work for almost 2.5 years. So creative things like working with paint contractors and landscape contractors. I took a cross-country trip for almost 3 months, bought an old Fleetwood travel trailer and pulled it around the country and fixed it up before I left. So that was a big deal. But then I figured out, I was going to really have to get, quote unquote, a real job. I landed in transportation again. I lived in Richmond, Virginia then, and I got a job with a company named Overnight Transportation. So I went from small package to LTL and was there for 6.5 years and had a great run there, did a lot of really fun, great business process improvements at that contact center. It's where I got my master's degree at George Washington. So I was in this working professional master's degree, and everything I was learning, I was bringing back to work, and we'd have to do all of these group projects. And my team was so awesome, and they really loved doing these. So when we'd have to do a group project, a lot of my graduate school peers would be like, let's go to Beth's place and see if they'll let us work on this. A ton of fun doing that. Made another really big career decision after 6.5 years at Overnight, which eventually became UPS Freight after I left. Moved to Boulder, Colorado, chasing a dream, and got in graduate school at Naropa, and got a master's degree in contemplative psychotherapy. So I had long as a kid had a dream of being a therapist, like a psychologist. I'm also dyslexic, so I cheated my way through high school and college, is what I tell people. It's true. I never cheated in graduate school. I want to be on record saying it. So I didn't think I was smart enough to get a master's degree, and I proved myself wrong with that first master's degree. So I went for another one. Great experience. And what led me to Naropa was I started working with a mindful awareness and meditation teacher before about 6 years before I started at Naropa. And it really changed my life. So we'll probably get into that later. So I'm out here, I get this master's degree chasing this dream, and I set up private practice after I got out of school, worked in public health and mental health, both just, trying to make ends meet, figure out how to make money in a new career endeavor. In a couple of years, I figured out that it's not what I wanted to do. So I'm glad I learned it pretty early, and I headed back to the business world. So I spent some time in time critical transportation for a bit, and then also worked in a startup that got to $10 million. And unfortunately went out of business that was in the uniform and apparel industry. The focus there for that company was sustainable fabrics. So great run there. Was one of the last two people to help close the company. A lot of learning there. Then landed in technology at Intrado that you mentioned. Was there for 5 years. Got laid off and took some time to figure out what I wanted to do next. And that's how I landed at StickerGiant. Now I'm in custom manufacturing, and we're also an e-commerce, very tech forward company. So that's the quick look back to what got me here.
Wow. A lot of different experiences that I'm sure help you actually be really successful with what you're doing right now. Obviously, because you have small package logistics as part of the business.
Yeah.
Obviously, being able to manage a group of people, because it looks like you got a lot of fun people there, and you're in a great part of the country. So I think you put all those things together, and it sounds like you're really having a great time growing a great business.
Thank you, Marc.
What are some of the challenges that you've faced along the way in business, and how have you been able to overcome them?
Well, you can't be in business without having challenges, right? It's
Right.
Part of the landscape, right? It's mountaintop experiences, and it's also the moments where you're like, oh, the well-laid plans didn't happen, and all those days in between. I think more recently, I reflect a lot on COVID. Like, we're more than 2 years in now, and really for me, what happened with COVID was really was shining a light on areas in our businesses where we already knew that we need to strengthen, but it moved them up the stack pretty quickly in the prioritization, right? So one of the big obstacles we overcame at StickerGiant in the early days of COVID was we sent our workforce home. Anybody that could work from home, we wanted them to be able to do that. So we'd never done that before. So we did creative things like figure out how to get people VPN'd in and make remote desktop work. We put actual hardware and screens and monitors and CPUs in people's back seats and sent them home with them, and figured out how to get it all connected and make our company work that way. So we knew we needed to get there. We got accelerated, no doubt. And where we are 2 years later is really all the better for it. Now we have a hybrid work environment where people can work from home a day or two, be in the office a couple days. It really has made our workforce more flexible. We have the opportunity now in some cases to employ people outside of the state of Colorado, which is really great. So it's made us more nimble and more flexible to meet what our customers need from us. So I think we're The other challenges really are around fast growth. We've been growing very fast over, more than a handful of years. And there are a lot of challenges that come with fast growth, and knowing how to scale and keep pace without getting too far ahead, and how to keep up with demand, right? And we're an e-commerce business, so of course we forecast a lot, but you never know for sure how many people are going to be on your website ordering your product every day. So we've had to get really nimble around cross-training and making sure we can move people around in the organization where we need them at the time we need them. So those are just a couple of things that come to mind. But I think it's also a mindset, right? It's a belief system to know that you're going to run into challenges in your business, and how you communicate that effectively and broadly throughout the organization, and help your team know how to help you, right? It's no mistake that we say it takes a village, right? It takes the whole company to make amazing things happen. One, to create a great place to work, and two, to make amazing things happen for our customers. So those are a couple of things that come to mind.
Crazy. So I would suspect that, all the educations you had and the different types of processes that you went through growth, your personal growth, actually, in my mind, helps you become able to pivot real quick when something like the pandemic occurred. For our business, we've always been virtual. So for us, this was like, okay, we do this anyhow. This is like no big deal, right? But like you said, for you send people home with computers and screens and and VPN hookups to make sure that everything was secured. And all of a sudden, IT became a big deal for yourself as well as a lot of businesses. Where in the past it was, everything was, you didn't have to worry about those things as much. But yeah, and so it also expanded your universe, like you said, to be able to hire talent from outside of the immediate area that in the past you would have probably never even thought about hiring, just because that wasn't the culture. I think as you've experienced, and many of us have experienced, that this change is here to stay, because people are now demanding it. And so we all need to adapt. So it's great to hear that you've got tremendous growth with the adaptation that you made during this unfortunate health experience that we all had. But, like anything else, we all step forward and we look forward, and, mindfulness is everything, right?
Yes. Well said. Well said.
So you identify as gender non-binary. I don't know how long that's been, but I'm guessing it's probably a while, just because of your mindfulness experiences. And in turn, you have a passion for social justice and diversity, inclusion and equity. Can you discuss how that's helped in your career and how it really is an asset now going forward?
Yeah, it's such a big question, right? So first I want to say, as a leader, it is really a big deal to be super personal about who you are, and it doesn't always work. So I think you have to really have a lot of good personal depth and reflection and willingness to be vulnerable in the right ways if you're going to really bring all of who you are into your leadership role and into your company. So one of the things I learned early when I started at StickerGiant, one of our values is really around personal expression. We really value personal expression. And we do that inside the company and for our customers as well. I mean, we make promotional stickers, right? That's an expression of either a brand or an artist. So being able to express who you are fully as a person was a real match for me here at StickerGiant. So I'm around people all the time that identify lots of different ways. We're 130 plus people. And as you grow, you start to see how the depth of diversity within your own organization changes over time. So I was employee number 47. So you can see, right, we're 130, 140 right now. We've grown quite a bit. And we really do have a great ability to attract diverse talent, which I'm super proud of. So how it all happened at StickerGiant when I decided to come out as gender non-binary was 2 summers ago when George Floyd was murdered. We were working as a company to come up with where did we want to position ourselves as a company. And we don't take sides. One of the things we don't do is we don't get political. We don't take sides. But we did want to affirm that we were aware and that we were working on our own diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative here at StickerGiant. So I was working with Betsy Holmes, who's our director of people and culture, and we were putting together like, how are we going to announce this at StickerGiant, what we intend to do. And I had been out to Betsy as gender non-binary for a while. And as we were preparing, I said, Betsy, I think I feel really inauthentic here, saying this is what we're going to do to make StickerGiant welcoming to all people. And I'm not telling everybody all of who I am. So I think, just as I was telling you about my career trajectory, that there are moments in time when you make critical choices as a leader and as a human that really inform a lot of what's going to happen afterwards. So Betsy's a great ally. And she said, well, of course you're going to tell the whole company that you're gender non-binary, right? So I think, who you surround yourself with also really matters. And I said, okay, that's what we're going to do. And, I'm really cautious as a leader, especially holding a CEO role. I do not want to make my role in this company the biggest thing about the company. So I'm always trying to weigh out how much I should be leading from the front and how much from the back. But I knew in that moment that I needed to tell our folks who I really am. And it really made a big difference here. I said, look, I'm going to share something about myself in the spirit of being open and transparent, and that StickerGiant is for all people. So I said, I'm gender non-binary, and said a few things. And I said, but I don't want to take up all the time talking about me. So we scheduled an AMA, Ask Me Anything time about a week later for folks to come and for me to share in more detail for folks that really wanted to hear, right? Rather than me taking up, scheduled company time to people hear about me and my personal story. And I was just blown away by the number of people that came and their thoughtful questions and their support. So it was a big risk for me personally, but I knew it was the right moment, right? It was just the right moment here at StickerGiant to share that. And since then, it's kind of grown a life of its own, right? When I take interest in podcasts, I say to teams that reach out to me, I'd love to, but just want to make sure that the host is really comfortable talking about me being gender non-binary. Even if they make a mistake on the live recording and use the wrong pronoun, we can just work with that as we go along, because we're all just learning how to be together, right? And if we're willing to stumble and fall and pick each other up, I think there's an awful lot of value, and we need a lot more humanness that cares and that just says, well, let's just keep going, right? Let's try to do better, because there's just an awful lot of stress in the world. So being able to connect like that as humans in a moment, I think it has a meaningful impact.
I agree, especially with everything that's going on, not in our part of the world, but in the other parts of the world where people are trying to inflict their own ideals on other people. It's this is right in the perfect time. And as we grow as a culture, because we do continue to grow, even though some people may not think so, I suspect you would agree with that process.
Yeah.
We have to grow as people. We have to grow as a culture. We have to grow as a group. We have to grow together. And this is one way that we do that everybody is acceptable of everybody else. Nobody's better than anybody else.
Yeah, I think it tracks back to the human experience, right? And the human condition. We as humans were born and we go through a process of life and then it ends, right? But we're growing the whole time, whether we're actively growing or not. Our body's changing, our thoughts are changing. And that's what's happening in our organizations as well, right? In our cultures. All cultures are changing. By nature, nothing can stay stagnant. So every person you hire and bring into your company has the potential to help evolve your culture in a positive way or detract from your culture. But no one's really neutral about a thing, right? Everybody's contributing something.
What really sets StickerGiant apart from other sticker companies?
Well, it kind of builds off of what I was just saying, right? That we have a value on personal expression. One of the things that early in the company, we tied the brand to our employees. So all of our marketing material features employees. We have a gift library that has over 1 billion views. So one of the fun things we do, so fun would be one of the things that sets us apart. So in our gift library, all the folks on that gift library we call each other giants. It's all giants. And some of them are hilarious and fun and ridiculous. And it really gives you a sense of who we are as a company. So fun is definitely one thing. The other thing that sets us apart from in an industry standard is we do quick turn. So we are custom manufacturing stickers and labels. And if you prove your artwork by noon Mountain Time, depending on the product you picked, we're going to ship tomorrow or the following day. So that was one of the big disruptors for us as we entered the market of custom manufacturing, is that we're in that quick turn with really high quality too. So quality is not compromised.
It's pretty amazing, really, when you think about it, because there's so many businesses out there today that while they may be quick turn, the quality is not, unfortunately, what you want. And when it comes in, then you're disappointed.
Right. And I guess the last thing I'll say that sets us apart too is just the friendly nature of how we present the company and who we are at the company. So when I walk around and I see giants, I say, "Hey friend, how's it going?" Many of us refer to each other as friend. We have an appreciation culture where now it's on a Slack channel where people drop appreciations for things, whether it's business related or human related. We thank each other. We're grateful to each other. And we do that with our customers too. Like, we're so grateful to our customers when they order from us. They can hear it in the tone of voice. They can hear it in the way we write emails, even the way we record messages to say we're not in the office right now. The one that's on right now says, "We're not available right now. All our giants are resting up. So tomorrow we can do all that great work to get you stickers and labels sent out." So there's this sense of friendliness, right? And that we're real people at StickerGiant, and we're not afraid to put our faces out there as these are the folks that are making your product, which is super fun.
Yeah, it's a very welcoming environment. And it's amazing how, it's like I was once told, when you make a recording, make sure you're smiling, because people can hear on the other side. So it's the same thing with your message at your business, right? When you make that recording, you're smiling, you're having a good time, and people can understand that, and it's going to make them want to come back, I think. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, very nice. So do you have any initiatives in place in your organization that creates social impact?
We do. So we actually, if listeners want to head over to stickergiant.com/sponsorship, we do offer sponsorships to nonprofits, charities, and events that are really centered around social good. And so those are in-kind stickers and labels that we do every month. One of the other things I love that we do, it's not really to bang our own drum, but to actually socialize and share who were the people that we sponsored this month. So we show the sticker or the label. So they're also getting a little airtime out on social media posts that we do. So yeah, if listeners have a cause or an event that could qualify, there's a form out there to apply. And we'd love to hear from folks on that.
Great. What a way to give back.
Yeah. The other way that we are involved in social good is we have a community team here at StickerGiant, and they have a set amount of funds every month to donate money to either local or beyond local causes that are primarily, the team has identified 2 areas that they are active in, and that's around sort of human enterprise support, right? All kinds of human support, and then also sustainability. So we care a lot about sustainability here, so there's a focus on that. And the community team also organizes trash pickups around the StickerGiant property. We're in a particular part of Longmont, which is the town we're in, that needs frequent trash pickup. So I just love, when I'm available, I come and participate in trash pickups. We usually wait for the warmer weather. And I just saw the schedule go out on Slack that we're getting ready to kick up trash pickups again too. So those are a few of the things that we do.
Very nice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think the best piece of advice I've been given over and over again in my life as a human and as a leader is you're not alone. So I think, in my own personal experience of being someone that is underrepresented, right? I'm same-sex attracted, and I'm also gender non-binary. So I learned early in my life to kind of hide that. So I felt alone a lot. But I don't think you need to have those kinds of human experiences to actually hide from who you are. I think all of us are hiding in differing degrees, right? I mean, if you just think about middle school for a minute and all of the ways kids in middle school are trying to learn who they are and then learning from peers and social messages of who they maybe ought to be or who they probably shouldn't tell people that they are. So, and then as a leader in business, I think leadership can get lonely. And I think it's important to really work to have great mentors and colleagues, coaches and advisors, people that care about you and your business. And over the years, I've done a really good job of surrounding myself with people that I can call anytime and just say, whew, I could use an ear, right? Because it's not always the right thing to do to sort of extrovert and think those things out loud with your team at work, but you can get some good advice and support from one of your colleagues that refreshes you and gets you back in the game.
It's always good to look for insight from someone who's not around you all the time. A lot of times, like you get away from what's happening, right? And you get that insight that you wouldn't normally think about if you were like meeting with your team or something like that, or somebody else that's in your inner circle. So yeah, that's a great piece of advice.
Well, and I think, with my background in psychology and in mindful awareness, one of the ways that we end up as humans, many of us, when we internalize a lot of things and we don't have a way to ventilate them and, kind of get reflection out, we start to have this sense of overwhelm. And think about what's going on in the world, right? Even pre-COVID and all that's happening now, there's a sense of overwhelm for most all of us. And that experience of overwhelm really starts to shut down our ability to think critically. And we start to contract ourselves, right? Like nobody else is probably as overwhelmed as me. And we start to tell ourselves these stories. And the truth is we're all pretty overwhelmed right now. So it's one of the common factors, no matter what you believe or don't believe, the common factor is we're all pretty overwhelmed. I just saw a statistic that I can't remember who did this survey, but 80% of people in a pretty broad survey said that they feel stressed recently, right? So usually when we feel stressed, we feel alone. So I would just say, make sure that you're staying connected. Make sure you have a good sense of who you can call to just talk things out, right? We've been hampered by being able to be social, right? And I'm starting to get more social myself and just enjoy really being able to have more social outlets and connection.
And maybe it's actually being able to take a deep breath again and enjoy life a little bit, right?
Agree.
I actually have a question I just thought about, as we're talking, because, what we do is expense reduction for businesses. And I'm just wondering, how are you all handling the supply chain issues, the increase in cost issues, in both internally to control them, and then externally what you have to pass on to your customers that in the past, maybe 8 months ago or 12 months ago, you wouldn't even have thought this would have been a problem today?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's a really big deal in all of manufacturing. So the sector of manufacturing that StickerGiant sits best in is called label converting, right? So where we source our substrate, where we actually print the image of the artwork, we have a really deep relationship with our supplier, one of our main suppliers. So I talk a lot about results through relationship, but that's not just here inside, right? That I say, if we're going to work really hard together, I want to like everybody that we're working with when we get where we're going. Because if we get all, crazy with each other and we get where we're going and we don't even like each other, why'd we bother, right? So we've really worked hard on the relationships that we have with, and we don't call them vendors, we call them strategic partners. Our key strategic partners that enable our business. We've had a couple of times where we've run out of some product, raw material product, which has been hard. And we have to put a message up on our website that product's not available. So that's been one thing that we've worked really hard on. The other thing is not even in the supply chain, but is in available workforce and having enough people to keep pace with this quick turn environment we've created. And we've struggled there, actually. And it's been really hard to have enough people to meet the demand. But we're back on track again. And we just put a lot of heavy influence and initiatives where we know there's opportunity area or actual just problem area, right? I mean, we can't always just call problems opportunities because that gets old. Sometimes they're just problems. So I think it's really helping your team know that we're all going to rally around it. We over communicate with our customers, make sure the customers know what's going on. And we just come to work every day to do our best. And it's working out pretty well.
Is there anything that I haven't mentioned that you'd like to touch on?
Yeah, I think I'll just end on a leadership note. I think for me, I'm aware that all the ways we thought about leadership and how to be a good leader, even a couple of years ago, have changed radically, right? It's just, we're in a different world as leaders. So it's really important to keep yourself healthy and well, take good care of yourself, and to learn to be humble. And I think part of that humbleness of leaders that we know probably more now than ever is, how do you listen to folks tell you heart-wrenching stories about their life and what's going on in their life, so that you can be one of those people at work even that knows your people deeply. And it helps inform how you think about your culture and the people that make up that culture, and how you continue to move an organization forward in these really, really challenging times. So I think it's time as leaders that we really learn to be more empathetic. We can't make everybody happy every day. I get it. I know it. They know it too. But we can listen, right? If we can just slow down and listen, whether it's a business problem or a personal problem, that's what matters to me. Can we stay human? Can we stay connected as humans when we're facing all of these challenges?
Great note. Beth, I really want to thank you for your time spending it with us today on Profits with Purpose. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you or somebody on your one of your giants to join this wonderful company, how would they do that?
I'm on LinkedIn as Beth A. Smith. That's how you can find me. And I'll throw this out to your listeners as well. If you're in the market for promotional stickers or product labels, use my discount code. It's StickWithBeth, all one word, for 20% off your next purchase, the first item. And we would love to hear from you. If you need a sponsorship, any way we can be helpful, reach out to us. We'd love to chat.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Marc.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Profits with Purpose. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you are interested in reducing the expenses of your business, creating positive social impact, or contributing to the show, reach out to Marc or Yanik with Evolved Profits by emailing podcast@evolvedprofits.com or visiting the website www.evolvedprofits.com.